Chris Weathers, aka Shorty C94, back at you again with yet another episode of Shorty Sneaker Conversations. This is actually episode 128. So I am going to try to get our guest. All right. Just sent the invite. Hello, everybody joining. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
All right. All right. Welcome. Welcome. Now, you aren't still nervous, are you?
I am a little bit, but I'm excited.
Nah, it's good. We just talked about kicks for hours.
Oh.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
No pressure.
Well, yeah. Well, welcome everybody. This is episode 128 of Shorty Sneaker Conversations. I'm Chris Weathers, aka Shorty C94, and we have our wonderful guest here. Now I want you to say it. I want to say the name wrong. So
my name is Michaela, and my name is Kayla B, or Kayla_B.
Okay, all right. Well, again, thank you so much for being here, accepting the invite. It means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. I think I really appreciate it, as I've told you several times before. So thanks so much for inviting me.
No problem. No problem. So we'll just dive right in. So I usually kind of start with sneaker origins. So what was your first sneaker moment or sneaker memory that kind of kicked things off? Did we lose her? Can y'all still hear me? Can y'all still hear me? Okay. All right. We'll wait for our guest there. Looks like she's frozen a second there. We may have to restart the live because I don't want to lose any time, but we'll give her a second. Okay. Okay. Did anybody buy the Alpha Force 88? Okay. Yeah, it kicked her out. Okay. I just sent you the invite again.
Okay.
There we go.
I don't know what happened.
It's all good.
I don't know what happened. It just kicked me out. But
My first question was what was your first sneaker moment or sneaker memory?
My first sneaker memory had to be my mom buying me like some K-Swiss classics. I was very young, like probably kindergarten first. Shoes in here type vibes. So that's the earliest that I can remember. 5 or 6.
Okay. Now, what was the sneaker that cemented you being a sneaker person? Like, what was that next shoe where it's like, all right, I'm in this. You know, this is part of my life.
On some OG classic-ish, definitely like the all white Air Force One low.
Okay.
Got those probably in early high school, 9th, 10th grade.
Okay. Okay.
Prior to, I'd had, we went through the phases of like, the different colored Converse and swapping out the laces, neon laces on Converse and stuff like that and whatnot. But as far as, I guess a defining moment, like, yeah, like I love these. And so even now, like the Air Force One is like one of my favorite like silhouettes.
Okay. Okay. So you have a pair of all whites right now?
Do I have them on? Or do I?
No, do you
Oh,
own a
yes,
pair right now?
yes. But the ones I have right now are like mid.
Okay.
So
All right. That's the one I'm missing. I got a high and a low, but I don't have any mids that are all white right now.
I really want some lows for the summertime. I really
Mhm.
want some for the summertime. I don't think I've ever gotten any highs actually. Um Shoot, the strap on the mid is high enough for me. I'm pretty short.
I got you. I got you. All right. What did you wear today?
Um Today I actually am wearing where I wore the Lisa Leslie Dunk.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, she's very comfortable. Um, she gets a lot of love from me. She has a little crease, not much. Yeah, so we love her. Um, it's it's a shoe that I get a lot of compliments on in this region because it looks like not only the Sparks colorway, but it gives Laker colorway, of course. Well, I'm from Louisiana. It gives LSU colorway. Um, so Mardi Gras colorway even. So it's pretty jazzy. I'm happy to have it.
I got you. I got you. I'm a I actually wanted them. I was kind of disappointed that they didn't make them in extended sizes for men because I could squeeze into a 10.5, which would be like a women's 12.
Yeah.
Um, a lighter, younger me would have been able to do that easily, but me now, I would need like a women's 13, so they didn't make them that big. But I actually wanted them because I love her. So,
Yes,
you know.
absolutely, absolutely. And I know what you mean because they are cut pretty narrow. Like
Hmm.
the dunk in general is cut narrow, and then it being women's, it's cut really narrow. So yeah, um, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like even I went up half a size
Hmm.
than what I would normally wear in like a dunk. Like these are a 7.5,
Okay.
and I tend to go for like sevens, for the most part.
Got you. I got you. Okay. Okay. So, since we're kind of still back in the day, what I know I'm not supposed to ask a lady how old she is, but when did you graduate from high school?
Well, I'm 27.
Okay.
Um, I graduated in high school from high school in 2013.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good time for sneakers. I mean, did you have a go-to sneaker while you were in high school or
Oh,
one that sticks out?
it was a lit time for sneakers. Uh I remember getting, or like at the end of my senior year, I remember getting like the great fives, the white great fives. And so I loved those so much. I got a lot of wear out of those. Um Really picked up more so in college, like at the end of 2013 they had like the little gamma blue Christmas pack, so I had the gamma blue 12s. I was able to grab those. Favorite color is blue, so like most blue colorways I like. So, stealth fives, UNC, gamma blue, like I'm all for it. So,
Okay.
um, so yeah, so those were definitely like some highlights, of 2013. Not just my senior year in high school per se, but then I used to also wear like uh mainly like 11th grade and whatnot. I used to wear like Team Jordans and stuff. And I remember I had a pair of Team Jordans that was similar to like a grape teal sort of colorway. And I had the little Hornets hat to go with it, before New Orleans changed over to the Pelicans franchise. So once I got my grapes that was actually that colorway, even though they weren't the Hornets anymore, I remember still like rocking that when I moved down there or moved down from North Louisiana to South Louisiana to go to school. So yeah, pleasant memories.
Okay. Now, I 2013, like I was running a Nike account because I'm from Cleveland. I live in North Carolina now, but I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Um, the company I worked for. I mean, that was a really long year for releases. You bring up the Grape 5. That was a long release. We had so many pairs that usually what we'd do if we sell out, we'd close and then we'll open back up at 11 when the store would normally open. But
Yeah.
it was such a long release that it just lasted until like the regular day. So that was a that was a long release. Um, Shout out to everybody joining. Hello everybody. But yeah, 2013, taxis. There was so much coming out that year. But I
Yeah.
guess what I want to ask you next is what's the Louisiana sneaker scene look like then as opposed to now, or then or now?
Um, Now what I see, well, let me start with then. Um, then I felt like back in 2013, that sort of vibe. I was living in South Louisiana. So the vibes of South and North Louisiana are like two different worlds from each other. So I would say the scene in the South was more like, they didn't mind, I guess, taking risks with like some of those different silhouettes, like your eights. KDs were really big, of course, during that time period. Also, like that 13, 14. So you would see a lot of that. North Louisiana back then kind of stuck to like your more classic silhouettes. Like you would see like your your white Air Force Ones and your all black Air Force Ones, and um you saw a lot of like taxis, or things of that sort. I think a lot of 12s, a lot of 13s. Now I think that it's somewhat the same, but I see more people like stepping outside of the box. I think now, and it's fortunate because fashion is genderless. The shoes, especially, are essentially genderless. So now it's nothing to see, men rocking women's exclusive releases, especially because some of them are so hot. Um, and so I remember, back then, like in high school, going into college, you were a little bit kind of made fun of, sort of, if you were a guy and you ended up with some type of women's shoe or something. But I mean, now the releases are so hard, everybody just wants what they like.
That is true. That is true. Um, okay. Okay. Now, with you still living in Louisiana, now,
Hmm.
do you have any go-to spots down there you go to buy sneakers or footwear?
Um, Not really in my hometown. There's no like sneaker shop, but Sneaker Politics, shout out to Sneaker Politics. They're across Lafayette, New Orleans. They were big for me. Standard sneaker shop as well, based out of New Orleans. If you're in the area, there's the one I used to go to was on Decatur, but I think they actually have one on Canal Street now as well. So they were really the shops that held like, the raffles. There were a couple of like local skate shops that would have, like SB releases and things of that sort there. But here it's pretty much like your standard um, big franchisees, like your Hibbett, your Foot Locker, City Gear and Hibbett, same thing. So, you'll find them at the same
Yeah, I
place.
used to manage for them.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you can get your hands on them, you can enter raffles and try to get them that way. Or if you miss out, you can try to go and see if you can look up on something just sitting. But there's no like Houston a ma maniere or any like exclusive like this is a sneaker shop here.
Okay. Now, you're obviously immersed in the culture. You love sneakers. I've seen some of what you post. You know, you do photo grids, all of that. What kind of sneakerhead would you say you are? You like
Hmm.
hype? Are you more vintage? Are you
Mm,
a mix of things, or where would you put yourself there?
a mix of things. I like what I like, so to speak. Now, some of that will be hype. Um, Otherwise, I kind of I kind of I just get inspired by certain color schemes. And so um whenever I'm inspired by a certain color scheme, I just kind of let my soul, I guess, figure out the rest. Um, but yeah, I'm not like up on, oh, this is hyper, like, oh, would I look buddy for wearing this? Or like, I just get what I like and what I'm willing to pay for most of the time. If hopefully I get W's, but W's sometimes are far and few between. So it's also like, where can my vision and my pockets take me?
Nah, I get you. I get you. Okay. Well, that was actually a segue into my next question, which is perfect. What's the most you've ever spent on a pair of sneakers?
Oh, the most I've ever spent. Mm, Maybe like $400, maybe.
Wow. Okay. What shoe was that?
Um, it was actually the orange lobster dunks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I was like, okay, I'll pull the trigger.
Okay. Okay. So, all right, you spent 400 on that pair.
Hmm.
Obviously, you're happy with it. You felt cool, spending that on there.
Yeah,
Those do
I
for a
mean,
lot.
it hurts, but it's like, it just hurts because you know how much it was released for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah. I mean, I'm older, so I come from a time where even SB dunks were less than $100 for the high and even less for the low. So I get it.
Yeah.
Um, so is that your kind of like the best sneaker you feel like you've bought, or do you feel like you've gotten other stuff for less? That's better.
Um. Others. Hmm.
Shout out to everybody joining.
That is a good question. I don't know. Now I have some shoes that I spent that were like retail dubs that I'm glad I got them for retail dubs because now I wouldn't buy them for the price that they are. So like I have a pair of I don't even wear these anymore at all. When I tell you they are what they are, you may be able to figure out why. But I have the triple black Yeezy 750.
Hmm.
Um do not wear them anymore. It's something like now I don't want to wear them just because of the I guess the morale of it. But I don't want to give them away either. I don't want to let them go, but I don't wear them.
It's a
Also,
$350 shoe. It was the first Yeezy. Well, the first model.
yeah, yeah.
You
Um,
know.
so luckily now, I mean, I'm in a hotter climate, but I got them when I lived in DC for a while, so I got more wear out of them then. So now they're not as necessary, but before, like they were in super heavy rotation.
Well, I don't know. I feel like because I have the gray ones, the first ones.
Yeah, with the gum bottom.
Well, no, the first gray ones, they're just gray with like a white
Oh, okay,
bottom.
okay.
But they're not really, and I feel like even though I'm not I'm not gonna say I'm not what I was, but I feel like since I live in the South now, I do dress a little more basic because it's hot all the time. But
Yes.
um, even when I was still in Cleveland, like my gray ones were like a once a year. I don't think anybody who still has that shoe wears it a lot because it's not really easy to wear,
Yeah.
especially when it's hot.
Yeah.
Like if it's cold, I could just throw on a gray hoodie or whatever and some taper jeans and go. But now it's nah.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It was definitely geared towards that colder European aesthetic that he was going for
Mm-hmm.
early on, with the holes and the hoodies and the, jeans with the just a tethered like a billionaire homeless,
Yeah,
you know.
that's exactly you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got you. So let me just ask you this then. So since the pandemic has started,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I'm a little rusty. I haven't done these in a while. Usually I open the show asking the guest what's the most important thing you've taken from the world since the pandemic, but we've already passed that point, so maybe we can end it with that. But what's the biggest win you'd say you've had on Confirmed or sneakers since the pandemic started?
The biggest win that I have had. Uh, mm, that is I'm trying to think. Let me think. Um, probably probably either fire red fours or the lightning fours, maybe.
Hmm.
I'd say, yeah, it's been a lot of L's. I had to think back to almost the 20, like the inception of the pandemic. Yeah, it's been a lot of L's.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up the Lightning 4 because this is a shoe like they were so difficult to get in 2006. You had to be a Nike / Jordan Flight Club member. And they were $250 because it was the shoe and like a windbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when they came out 2 years ago, I was excited. I was able to get them, but that yellow is so it's kind of hard to match because even the Jordan stuff they made with it didn't really go with it.
Yeah.
So usually, what I'll do, I've only worn mine maybe twice.
Mm-hmm.
The one time I remember wearing them, I matched the gray on the wing with just a gray hoodie because to me the gray hoodie is like a white tee for the wintertime. So yeah. What do you wear with yours?
So this I love this question because I'm like a color theory nerd. So most of the time the colors that I wear with them are not yellow either. Um, I do I like lime green and black. There's a photo on my Instagram. I didn't make a grid out of it. I was like at a museum, but like lime green and black, like a dirty Sprite moment, you know. Hot pink, definitely pops with them. You could, go a royal blue if maybe like I've worn like a royal blue, or like a royal blue top with them. But if you're like I guess like a Warriors fan, or like a lot of high school colors are that too. So I just I just kind of play around with that because the yellow it's so bright and it's so distinct. Like, but it's the yellow that you think of when you think of the color yellow.
Yeah.
But it is kind of difficult to match. So I never just try to do straight yellow with them.
Right.
All black too. All black hits, I think, with them.
Right.
Great shoe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been wearing I don't want to say a lot lately, but I'll say a lot. I think the last time I wore them, I was in like a denim two-piece, like Canadian tux type of moment with them, like a mid-tone blue. And so,
Okay. Now, on the flip, what's the hardest? You said you've had a lot of L's. We've talked about the wins. But what's like one of the, if not the one of the hardest L's you had to take, not winning a shoe that you wanted?
so this is funny too, because I still haven't gone back to get this, but the the UNC OG one Jordan one, was it
Okay.
like 21? When I didn't hit on that, I like cried.
Mm.
I actually cried. I don't know if it was probably also due, I guess, to the rest of my mental state. I wasn't mentally prepared to take that L. Like I was gearing up, like I just knew because I hadn't hit. So I thought, okay, surely this algorithm will be in my favor because I've taken several L's. And so when that was yet another L, I'm like,
Mm. I got you.
that's
I got.
the hardest in recent memory.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just seems like L's are part of the game now, and again, haven't been like I've been collecting for a long time. I mean, I can still remember when you could just go in a store and just get whatever, late '80s or late '90s, early 2000s. I mean, so um,
The
yeah,
game changed.
yeah. So that means you were born in 1996,
I was born in 95.
95. So your birthday is still coming.
Yes, August 29th.
Okay, okay,
Virgo.
okay. All right. So with you being a lady that's into sneakers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I feel like sneakers are being represented by women and companies in a big way. Um, but do you feel like you've kind of had any challenges that you might not would have if you weren't a lady in the sneakers? Like if you were a guy in the sneakers, do you feel like, being a lady, is there any hardships or any difficulties that you maybe wouldn't have as a man in the sneakers?
Mm, I think um, generally it's a very positive space to be in. I'd say it's pretty welcoming, I think, for women, for the most part. For me, I think just on a regular basis, just kind of having your your style, like be respected, um, to the degree, of men's style, like, um, you know, instead of, if a guy puts it on, it's like, oh, that's hard. Like, that's hard AF. If I put it on, it's like, oh, it's cute. Like it can just sort of change the way it's viewed. Um, I think, but I mean, that's just the nature of some things. Not really a complaint, but I'll say that. But I still think it's a pretty welcoming space, and there's a lot of opportunities for women still. There's a lot of creative direction happening by women in the industry. Melody Asani and Alayli May, and I think Kalana Barfield Brown has been involved in creative direction as well. Yoon being involved, and so I think it's a welcoming space for women. Beffy, you know, and of course with her husband, they do union together, but she has her own, line, that Beffy's Beauty Supply, that is going to be doing the upcoming union one release that all the guys want right now. And so I think that, similar to the previous question, it's more like women, I think, are taken seriously as forces to be reckoned with. And yeah, I've only experienced positive things. So
Good, good, good to hear. Good to hear.
okay, fellow Virgo, I see them. August babies, Leos and Virgos.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I guess now we can talk about um, family. You know, start. I mean, how does your family feel about your relationship with sneakers?
Um, they probably think it's out of hand. Um, I so to be honest, I love it all. I'm kind of a shoe addict. I also started collecting Tims back when I was in undergrad as well. Um, so even getting into college, getting into heels, because dressing up and being able to go out for the first time. So I have a lot of shoes and a lot of clothes. My family respects it. Um, I have like the smallest foot in like my out of my family. Because I wear a 7 in women's. I guess 5.5 GS. And like my mom and my sister, even my nieces, they're all like nines and a half. So oftentimes it'll be like, damn, we can't wear Kayla's shoes. Like we wish we could, but um but I think they like it. I think they see that it brings me a sense of joy, and it's really a part of my identity at this point. So I'd say they appreciate it for the most.
Okay. Okay. Um, how does your significant other feel about it?
Um so he's like into shoes as well. So kind of that same energy, collectors, collectors, stacking it up. So it's, I guess it could be, what would you say? Um, I guess it can make you maybe overbuy sometimes. If you have people around you hyping you up, like, yeah, get it. But, all positive.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Who has the better collection between you and him?
Uh, oh, I would say him.
Hmm,
Him first. Yeah,
okay.
him ish. My sneakers, I only have about like 30 pairs right now.
Okay.
It's gone through so many phases over the years, just me moving around and here and there, and I've lost sneakers, given stuff away, had stuff destroyed, had to throw stuff away because I couldn't wear it anymore, so um it's uh it's ever evolving, I think, for me.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Shout out Yo Keisha. It is very fun. I've gotten to experience that being with someone who was into sneakers. When I was married, my wife was into sneakers with me, so I
Yeah.
feel that. I feel that. Okay. So out of the 30 pairs you have, what's that one end all be all pair that you just gotta have? Like I can't let this go regardless. Like I can't let it go.
mm At the moment, probably my off-white twos, the royal one, off-white two low. I'll say.
It's a nice pair. That was a tough L for me,
Oh yeah, I could.
you know. But it's just like I really like Jordan twos. I
Yeah.
love guys. probably 20 some pairs of them. I love the two. So,
What
um,
what silhouette do you have the most of?
it was Dunks until I started working for Converse. Converse is my employer. So now I could say, because this room I'm in is just nothing but Converse. Um, Chucks.
Yeah.
I got maybe 230.
Wow.
So before it was Dunks, I have somewhere between 100 and 115.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Um, I'd say fours.
Mm,
Jordan fours.
okay. You have a favorite four?
Mm. I have a favorite. I have a favorite four that I don't have.
No.
Like a favorite four or a favorite four of mine.
Either.
Okay. Um, favorite four that um I don't have would be like the bread fours, the fours of all fours. Um, and something that I also do want to go back and get because I took an L on that too. The Olivia Kim no cover fours that are like the black cats, only they got the little
With the fur.
fur. Yeah. So, the ones my favorite fours that I have right now probably Canyon Purples.
Yeah, those were nice. They were very Travis Scott-y, but
Yeah.
they're nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having those. I just couldn't find a women's 13 or a women's 13 and a half. So
Yeah.
yeah. But nah, I mean Jordans will always be a pillar in my collection. I love the black and red four. Um, it's kind of tough to call it the four fours. It's tough to go between that and the white cement. I mean, they're kind of right there together for me. But I respect it. I respect it. I mean, are you gonna try to get the leather black and red four next year as the SB?
We'll try.
Yeah,
We'll try.
yeah,
We may not hold our breath, but we'll try, you know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the fire. I mean, all of the original colors are nice. I mean, I need a new pair of militaries because when we moved down here, um, my '06 fire reds with the Mars face and my militaries from '06, the wings broke off of them in the move.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought down 99 fours that are still intact or just now starting to crumble
Yeah.
with just those two pairs. I was glad the fire red came back so I could have a pair to wear, but
Yeah.
I still need a new military.
That was the fire red. That's a tight shoe. That shoe is tight on the foot. Like the one that recently came out. It was so hard. I almost felt like they gave me the wrong. Like I thought it was like a manufacturer's default.
Well, a lot of people complain about the Jordan 4 and comfort. I always just say what works for me was on certain pairs, if they feel that way, I don't use the lace crowns.
Yeah.
So that kind of frees the shoe up a little bit from, you know,
Yeah.
some people it's like it's the pinky. Some people don't like this or that, but um, I don't know. I never have a problem with fours when I wear them. Some of the pairs from 2012, they were made kind of bad, and the pull tab on the back would like dig into the back of my leg, but none of the newer ones do that to me. Just those older ones.
Yeah.
So, you know, but shout out to everybody joining. But yeah, so the four is the shoe you have the most of. Is it your favorite Jordan?
Um, I would say probably, probably
Yeah. And I
six
just
two. Even though I don't really have a lot anymore, but I like sixes
mm,
and threes.
okay. I'm kind of surprised because for the longest is like the Jordan 1 customer would also gravitate towards the 3, but
Mm.
it's kind of morphed over from the 3 to the 4.
Yeah.
Especially with um the under 30 audience, which you are a part of. So, what is the appeal of the Jordan 4 for you?
Uh, I think it's versatility. Um, it looks good with so many different silhouettes. You know, it looks good with dresses and skirts. It looks good with pants that are stacked. It looks good with straight leg pants. You can dress them up. Um, they're coming in a lot of you know, very cool colorways. You see them in um, a lot of just dope monochrome colorways. Then you see them with the pops of color, the thunder, the lightning. Like, I think there's just a lot of there's a lot of versatility there. You can do so many things with them. And I think that they're also one of those shoes, or one of those silhouettes rather, that looks good on everybody's foot,
Mm.
like regardless of the size. Like, they look good big, you know. Like, once you get too big in a, you know, a 13, it doesn't really hit the same. Or you know, on for women, sometimes some of those silhouettes, like the, you know, sometimes 12s or 13s can look kind of bulky, but I think they're just that nice in between shoe that most people could, you know, get away with rocking.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So what?
You said, where is my collection? It's in
That's
my
just
closet.
that's my hobby. He's just messing around.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, he's just
Okay.
messing around. But
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know
um,
the background.
what's up, Harold? Um, so what direction would you like to see your collection go in the future?
Um, I just want to I hope to reach back and get some of those things that I missed. Um, so that's kind of the goal. Also, shoes with messages. Um, I love the, you know, the deeper meanings that we see behind these shoes that aren't, you know, solely sports related. Um, I'm excited for the next iteration of like KD's Aunt Pearl, the 16s that are going to be coming out. Those are hard. Um, so yeah, just definitely shoes with messages, color expanding. Um, I guess going into other brands and whatnot. Um, I want more Asics, that thing. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I see it going. I see it growing.
Now, you think the KD 16 is hard?
I think that Pearl that's coming out is hard.
Mm.
You don't like
No, I don't like the shoe. It looks like a budget penny too, but
that?
without an air bubble and everything, it's got the little wave on the side, like you can see it was. But I don't know. I haven't really, other than the 14, I haven't really liked a KD probably since the 11. So, but I have all of the models, so it's like, well, I have to get at least 116. But
Yeah,
um, I don't know. I haven't liked the Not Pearl probably since the 8.
yeah.
So it's been a
I'll agree with you on that. I will agree with you on that for sure. Which is why I got excited when I saw the picture for this one.
mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's kind of, it's serving like colorway wise, like it was serving like a Laylee May 6 vibes with the sort of two-tone, sort of on the pink, not silhouette wise at all, but just that, you know, wearing it with pink, two-tone pink. I liked it.
Another shoe that I would love to find. Like my wife had that. She may still have it. I don't know, but I was just looking at it and I'm like, God, I wish I had this in a women's, 13. 'Cause I know they made it in bigger sizes. But whenever I can find them, they're like $700 or $800. And
Mm-hmm.
the 6 is the one Jordan where I'll give it a look no matter what it is before I'm like, yeah or nah. Most of the time it's yeah. The only 6s I've probably passed up on recently was I couldn't buy the hair of Bordeaux
Yeah.
just because I have the 7s, so I don't need the
Yeah.
6s. But yeah, the 6 is the one Jordan I'll be like with. So
What's your
that
favorite Jordan 6
out of
that you?
the black and red one, it's the one that made me all this.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know. Um, but yeah, the black and infrared. It's one of those shoes that anytime it comes out, no matter how many pairs I have to get it. I've got like 10 pairs of
Yeah.
just that color. So um,
Love to-
give me a second. Sorry. Um, Harold Chill, man. Um,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, that yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Oh man.
for saying I look like the Easter Bunny.
Um,
Why? Because this shirt is yellow?
oh man.
Because this shirt.
Um, so what's on your radar next for the rest of the year?
Um, so the Union Beffy's Jordan 1s, those I really want those. Um, to be honest, it's on some if I get those, I would probably be cool on the rest of this year's releases because like I said, it's some other stuff that I missed that I need to go back and get. So
Okay.
um,
Since you're a fan of Beppy's, did you buy both of those 7s?
I missed out
Mm.
on that 7. That was actually a shoe that I regret. Originally I wanted like the kind of corally colorway, not really the teal one, you know. Um, and I went to her website, which that whole campaign was amazing that she did for that. The clothes that she came out with it were cool too. Um, but I went to her site and I saw them and I'm like, uh, I can wait. I can get them. I can wait because they had like, several of the sizes. Man, they snatched them up so quick. So now, I have I have the We the Best DJ Khaled 5s and that sort of corally thing. And I don't do a whole lot with coral. So now I'm thinking instead of like that tan coral one, I want the like blue green wave.
Yeah.
Um the only other pair of 7s I have are the Flint 7s.
Okay. Yeah, I was hating on them Beppy's when they came out. My wife bought that green and blue one, and I'm like, man, you ain't never gonna wear these bitches.
Yeah,
You ain't
yeah.
never gonna wear
But
it. I mean,
does she?
I don't think she wore it. I don't even think I don't even know if she has it anymore. When I'm over there next, I need to ask her, do you still have the Beppy's beauty supply joints? So,
If
oh man.
I get something, I'm wearing it, no matter how crazy it is. I just have to. I
Mm-hmm.
I take too many L's not to.
Yeah.
I would be barefoot if I didn't.
Wow. I got you. All right. So,
Oh, it was the 7. It was Beffy's. It was Beffy. It was a collab with Beffy. It's Beffy's Beauty Supply and Jordan. They came out with a 7
but
in 2 different colorways. Somebody asked what was it? They missed it.
yeah, Keisha, it was that 7 with the net on the top. All right. So, before we go, did you have any other questions for me?
Sure. What are your goals for your podcast?
Um, that's a really, really good question. What I'd like to do, because I've done quite a few episodes. I really enjoy connecting with people. So I
Mhm.
really just want to continue to network and connect with more people. Um, I would like for this to lead to something bigger, but because I'm in the middle of a life change, I'm not sure how big I want it to be just yet.
Mhm.
So for now, it's kind of I'm kind of open.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations to you for that, and for starting this platform. I know you're an OG, but it's still like embarking on that next phase of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good question.
Oh,
Got
yes.
Yeah. You got any more for me?
Um.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. So I thought about this question. I hope I can phrase this correctly so that okay. So um you really started collecting in like the 90s or the 80s when you
The 90s.
oh so can
Yeah.
we like the last 3 or maybe like even 4 decades of defining moments for you. So like we can do 90s defining moments for you, then the 2000s, then the 2010s, and now even though we're only just a little bit into it, but the 2020s. Like could you go like, you know, and just point out things that stick out to you?
Sure. Um, so I started buying my own sneakers in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
I was a sales associate at TJ Maxx. I only got the job just so I could buy sneakers.
Okay.
But actually, my first defining moment is when I was a kid. I was in fourth grade in 1991. My dad came home with the black infrared six. He had it on. He had the Jordan short set, the hat, and the bag. He had the whole capsule. And I just remember that was the first shoe I ever like wanted. I had Jordans before, but that was the first shoe I ever wanted. And I remember that infrared, it was like glowing. So
Yes. Yeah.
I ended up being able to get a pair the next day. And I got notoriety at the school. I was the only kid there with the Jordans. So that kind of changed me. And then 6 years later, I got my first job, started being able to buy sneakers. So those are probably the two for the 90s. Um, for the 2000s, I mean, the game was still very pure. You could still go in stores and get shoes. Only certain retro Jordans would sell out, but they were so spread out back then. It wasn't like now where it's a release every week.
Right.
So probably for the 2000s, it would be I got my first shoe store job in 2003, Foot Action,
Mm-hmm.
and I only worked there on the weekends because I had another job. I was there strictly for the discount,
Yeah.
but that experience of working in the shoe store is something I always wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just kind of went on from there.
Yeah.
Um, you know, 2010s, um, probably just doing adult things and being an adult, getting married, owning homes and still being able to do this. A lot of guys,
Yeah.
when they get, you know, um, involved, they aren't able to really do the shoe thing. And even though my wife and I aren't together now,
Mm-hmm.
um, she supported me doing this. We used to do content together. Some of y'all in the comments remember, um, so being able to do grown people stuff, but still able to buy sneakers, enjoy sneakers, her be able to enjoy sneakers. That was a really, really big thing for me. And working for Converse, which in turn means I work for Nike since Nike owns Converse.
Yeah.
Uh, that's been big, not from being able to have a discount standpoint, but just the opportunity to move up in that company and try to do other things there.
Mm-hmm.
So I really would like to do digital marketing for Nike.
Okay. Awesome.
So those are a few things that I could think of.
I could see that you'd work well with it. Definitely.
Do you think that with so many releases that they've done themselves a disservice, oversaturated the market? With certain models, yes. There's too many dunks. There's too many Jordan 1s. There's too many Air More Up Tempos. Those are three shoes they need to just not make for 2 or 3 years, especially the dunks. Now, you know what? The up tempo. They need to not make any up tempos
That's
for a
funny.
while. For a
That's
while.
yeah. I mean, I think I can agree with that. On one hand, I'm kind of split because on the other hand, it may allow people to grab certain things that they otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity to get. Um,
Now,
but yeah, that can be kind of like
but see,
they're
that's what
everything in
that's what
every color.
that's what eBay, Macari, and Poshmark are for. If you want to go choose, just go back and reach back for it. They ain't
That's
got to keep bringing it out. The
that,
Barkley, the CB94 is another one, like that black, white, and purple. Like,
yeah,
if you've been in the kicks for a while, how don't you have that shoe? It's retro 3 times in the past 10 years.
yeah, yeah.
That's just me, though.
Some of this stuff is like if you if you don't have it, it's because you don't want it.
Exactly.
If you
It's
don't
like,
it, then yes, I'll give you that. So it's definitely oversaturated. That's another plus I think about the fours too, you know, to that point, because you
it's,
they're almost you think they're that close. I love them.
I mean, I love the 4 for the, and again, just being
I agree.
from a
They
different era and different, like, some of the 4s are like, oh, okay, but a lot of them, now for you to dress the way you dress, I, I get it. But for us old heads, I'm like, man, what the fuck I need a purple 4 for, man? You know what I'm saying? So that's just me.
you're
Because
right.
the 4, it hasn't reached that pantheon of shoes of, there are some Nike shoes that you can do anything to an Air Max 90 or Air Max 87 or a Jordan 1 or a Dunk or Air Force One
Mm-hmm.
Blazer. This is still a Jordan 4. Like, it's not, it's a historic shoe that I love, but it's not you can do anything to it shoe yet.
Yeah, they're gonna try. They'll beat a dead horse, you know.
I mean, they do that with the 11s.
Yeah.
So
So
now I'm going to say, well, for whatever reason, Instagram be doing this weird thing where they only let my lives be an hour.
okay,
So it may cut off.
okay,
Did you want to go a little longer, or are you good?
sure. I'm chilling. I'm having fun.
All right, all right. We'll go a little bit longer, but it may cut off, and I'll just invite you back.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I just it's too much with the 4, and I don't feel like Nike needs to really do that with that shoe,
Yeah.
because there are several other silhouettes, both Jordan and not, that Nike could bring out or try to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know. Now, what would you say is your holy grail? That shoe that you haven't touched, that you just want, like.
Hmm. Well, I think it's I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it now. Um Probably the green off-white Air Force One low.
Uh, I was gonna be like, if you was talking about the mid, I'm like, man, them joints you can get them for nothing.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, those lows. The only thing that kind of, because I was disappointed I took an L on those, but Nike had came with them spiked forces, and they had them on the employee site for them, and I was able to get both of them for less than I would have got that green one for.
Yeah.
So it didn't hurt as bad, but I still wanted that green one. I actually want that green mid too, but it's all right.
Yeah.
So that's your grill, that the green Virgil low top.
Yes, because I mean, it's beautiful. As I said before, you know, it's one of my favorite silhouettes. Like, it's timeless. And I think just green has become one of my favorite colors. It wasn't always. But I just think it looks super cool. And I don't know, Virgil was in his bag, R.I.P. So he was definitely in his bag. So I would be honored in a lot of ways to have those.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you, Grizzly. If I had one, I need that MCA. I need that black
Okay.
or the blue.
Yeah.
But the off-white I want the most is the Chicago one. That's the one that
Yeah.
I say that in the first Presto that was in the 10.
Yeah.
Those are the two
Yeah.
I say I would want.
Of course, the sale fours is, you know, but
I know that's your shoe. I can do
like
without those.
green. But I stick with what I said the
Uh,
first time.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, for me, I like a lot of obscure stuff that they're probably never gonna retro.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but on the Jordan side, I can't really think of anything that I need that I don't have.
Yeah.
It's something that I need to replace. Like I
How
need
many
to.
do you
How
have?
many? What?
How big is your collection? Like,
It's 4 digits.
okay. Okay.
Um, if I had to ballpark it, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
Wow.
But
Wow.
that's
Long time.
a long time
Yeah.
collecting. Keisha, I don't have everything, but yeah, it's what gets me excited is them bringing back random Nike shoes and retroing them, not being Jordans or foam posits or what's hot.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted that Alpha Force 88, but I was working and I forgot about it.
Yeah. That happens all the time.
Um, we opened at 10 and the shoe dropped at 10 and it was up hours later, but it wasn't in my size. The biggest size they had was a 10 and a half. And I thought about trying to squeeze in it, but nah.
Yeah.
If I buy a shoe and I never had it, I always just get a 12, even though I'm an 11 and a half for real. So
That's what my dad wears. My dad
yeah,
both 12s.
yeah, yeah. It used to be a size that would sit, but now it actually kind of goes a little
Yeah.
bit. But
5.
those and the Mac Attacks are the two shoes I wanted this year that I have missed. That are just random ass shoes from the 80s that I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
my dad had those Alpha Forces, so I actually wanted them for that reason.
yeah.
You know, he wanted them too, but he's not gonna get on the app and try to